Hey guys, how's it going? Valentines Day is just around the corner. If you haven't got a clue what to make your girlfriend or boyfriend, don't worry, I'll get you back. But today I'm going to show you how to make a one-of-a-kind Raspberry Soufflé. Impressive, hell yeah, delicious. Yeah, it's incredible. It's going to sweep your girlfriend or boyfriend off their feet. Guaranteed. And guess what? It's not as complicated as you may think. So let's do this, shall we? So first on the agenda, we're going to start by making a raspberry coulis, which essentially is a raspberry sauce. The coulis is the secret to making any sweet fruit souffle. So you're going to combine together raspberries, you can use fresh or frozen, doesn't matter, along with some caster sugar, a splash of water, about a tablespoon, some vanilla bean paste, and last but not least, a splash of raspberry liqueur. Totally optional, but I highly recommend it. Gives a much better flavour. Mix it together to distribute the ingredients evenly, and you want to gently warm it through until the sugar is completely dissolved over low heat. Now put a lid on it and cook it for about 5 to 6 minutes until the berries start to break down. Now you want to bring it to the boil and cook it for about 1 to 2 minutes to get rid of any excess liquid. Then pour into a blender and blend until it's nice and smooth. Now strain the mixture through a fine mesh sieve to get rid of all the seeds. Then pop a lid on it and put it in the fridge until completely chilled. If it's late in the day, just leave it to cool overnight in the fridge. Now I'm going to show you how to make a pastry cream. The French word for this is creme. Basically it's a custard thickened with starch. The most common starch they use is cornflour. So combine together whole milk, vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract, whatever you have, and about 5 grams of sugar, just a little bit to stop it scalding. Now you just want to gently warm the milk up over low heat until it reaches just below the simmer. Then turn the heat off and place a lid on it to allow it to infuse. That's going to develop the flavour. Now in a medium-sized bowl, combine together 2 egg yolks with the remaining sugar and a mixture of corn flour and flour. This is what's going to thicken the pastry cream once heated. Now you want to properly whisk that together until you achieve a nice smooth, thick, pale mixture. Now this is the secret to achieving a nice smooth pastry cream. Add a splash of the hot milk first. This is called tempering. This is going to avoid the eggs from curdling. Now you want to whisk that until the mixture is nice and smooth and there's no lumps at all. Now this is where it gets exciting. Pour it back into the pan with the remaining of the milk. Now you want to cook this out over medium-low heat until it's nice and thick. It'll probably take a few minutes, but make sure it doesn't catch on the bottom of the pan. Once you cooked all the flour out, it should turn out something like this. Nice and smooth. Now I like to pass my pastry cream through a sieve, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Just in case it did catch on the bottom of the pan without me realising. Now cover your pastry cream with cling film. Make sure the cling film is actually touching the surface of the pastry cream. That will avoid any skin from forming on the surface. And place in the fridge until it's completely chilled. If you wish, you can make this up to 2 days in advance. Alright guys, now we're ready to grease our ramekins. Who's excited? Promise me one thing, make sure the ramekins are completely dry. If they're wet, the butter will never stick. And your souffle will be a nightmare. It won't rise much. When greasing the ramekins to make a souffle, you always brush upwards. That will create a track, so to speak, to help the souffle rise. Once you've done that, you're going to place them in the fridge for about 5 to 6 minutes to firm the butter up. And now you're just going to repeat that same process once again, always brushing upwards with the pastry brush. Now we've got to coat the ramekins. You can be so creative. You can use sugar, chocolate, nuts, herbs if you wish. Today we're keeping it simple with sugar. Now you just want to rotate the ramekin, making sure all the butter is nicely coated with the sugar. Remove the excess into the next ramekin, and then you're just going to put them in the fridge until we need them. Pastry cream's done, raspberry coulis done. Now we're ready to put this whole thing together. Remove the cling film from the pastry cream and squeeze out all the excess that's stuck to the cling film. There's no waste in my kitchen. Now transfer the pastry cream to a larger bowl. That will make it much easier to incorporate the meringue at the end. Now it's time to pour in all that raspberry coulis that we made before. Now mix that together until it's beautifully smooth and homogenized. Now we're ready to make the meringue. You want 1 egg white, and I'm going to add a pinch of cream of tartar. If you can't get cream of tartar, you can easily substitute with a splash of lemon juice. It's just a stabilizer, but to prevent you from over whipping the egg whites. So when making a meringue, you never add the sugar all at once. You add it gradually later on. So without any sugar, you just want to start whisking the egg whites until it builds a lot of bubbles and foam, like this. Now we're ready to start gradually adding the sugar little by little. Do not add it all at once, because if you add the sugar too quickly, that's just going to deflate the meringue. It'll be a waste of time. So once you've added it all, continue whipping it until you achieve like a medium firm peak. Something that holds its shape but not too firm. You want something like this. And another cool trick, if you're confident enough, tip the bowl above your head and the meringue shouldn't move an inch. Now all the prep's done, we're ready to put the whole thing together. So first you want to beat in 1/3 of the meringue. At this stage, don't be worried about knocking out the air. You want to beat it in until it's nice and smooth. Now this next step, you're going to add in the rest of the meringue, and this is where you got to be gentle. You want to gently fold the meringue in. Don't be aggressive, you want to keep as much air in this as possible. This is what's going to make it rise. And now I'm going to macerate a few raspberries in a raspberry liqueur. This is going to be a wonderful surprise in the centre of the souffle. Give it a mix and set it to one side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the finale. Now fill your ramekins up halfway. Now get yourself a tea towel, oven cloth, whatever you have, and fold it into quarters, just to stop you damaging your countertop. Now give the ramekins a good tap. This is going to evenly distribute the air bubbles, making the souffle rise nice and evenly. Now get your raspberries that you macerated in your raspberry liqueur and place one raspberry in each souffle, right in the centre. Then fill your ramekins right at the top. Then knead it up using an offset spatula to get a nice smooth finish. Now this is a very important step. Get your ramekin and we're going to clean the rim using your thumb. This is going to make the souffle rise so much better. It's going to direct it going upwards rather than anywhere else. And we're going to bake these at 180 degrees, but preheat your oven to 190. Because when you open the oven, the temperature is going to drop down to 180. And you're going to bake these souffles for about 10 to 12 minutes until the top of the souffle has a nice golden brown colour. Then you're going to turn them round so that they bake more evenly. Now bake the souffles for additional 4 to 5 minutes until well risen and nice golden brown on the surface, but still have a slight wobble. Now this is where you gotta be fast, you can't be messing around. Take them out of the oven, and I like to dust mine with a bit of icing sugar, and then serve immediately. And there you have it, a delicious raspberry souffle. Oh yes, that's what I call a souffle. This has got to be the perfect way to finish off a Valentine's meal. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you a lot later. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what you call souffle.